What makes a co-op experience great? What makes players feel truly immersed in a digital world with their partner? And what can we as game developers do to create an amazing cooperative experience? My name is Tim Ruswick, and in this video we're going to take a look at A Way Out, why it's great, and what it does that captivates its players. And we're going to examine the 3 things that I think make it a fantastic experience and set it apart from other co-op games in the same genre. Quickly, before we start, I'd like to mention that my aim is not to spoil any of the core story elements in A Way Out, but I do use quite a bit of footage from the game in this video, so be prepared. That being said, if you've never played A Way Out, the game starts with each player picking a character. It gives a list of personality traits and skills that each character has, and both players must agree on each player's choices. That leads us to our first pillar of a great co-op experience: different identities. In A Way Out, both players have truly separate in-game identities. They have their own wants, needs, and desires as characters, which adds weight to the believability of the game world. These characters feel real, and they feel separate, and as such, when they work together cooperatively, the game just works better. When you contrast this with something like Halo, you see why this is a problem. When you start a co-op campaign, you quickly realize that each player plays as the same soldier, Master Chief. They're both supposed to be the same person, and in fact in cutscenes it only shows a single Master Chief. And despite correcting this in later games, something just feels off in this one. And we see this far too often in co-op experiences. This breaks the immersion, especially so for narrative-heavy games, and it's one of the things that A Way Out does well. Unlike Halo, A Way Out has different identities for each character. They are not simply duplicates of the main protagonist. Mario has Luigi, Cuphead has Mugman, and A Way Out has Leo and Vincent. And while different in-game identities goes a long way when it comes to storytelling, there's nothing that really beats taking the storytelling into the mechanics, which leads us to our second pillar of a great co-op experience: separate roles. It's one thing to have the in-game personas of each player be separate, but it's quite another to have each player actually do different things. In A Way Out, during multiple points in the game, the players must either split up and take care of multiple tasks, or join together to help each other perform joint tasks. Each player has a very distinct skill set, and sometimes only one character can solve a specific situation, while the other might make it worse with their actions or their dialogue options. While co-op in any game is a welcome addition, especially if you'd like to play the game with friends, having each person play a separate role adds so much more to the experience. It makes you feel needed, capable, and engaged.
I'm telling you, this is gonna work. Just jump in the back and stay low.
I'll give you credit when we've crossed the bridge.
Come on, move already.
You can also see evidence of this in games like Portal 2, which does a fantastic job by requiring both players' sets of portals to beat a level, and with the indie title Death Squared, a puzzle game built from the ground up for cooperative play. Separate roles are great because they require true cooperative play, not just playing the game together. And the whole game really supports this, which brings us to our final pillar: a catered co-op experience. A Way Out was built with 2 players in mind. This was not a tacked-on idea, this was a fully thought-out 2-player experience built from the ground up to support those players. You literally cannot play the game without a second player, and that love and care for a 2-player experience shows.
I got him! Let me go! Leo! Let him go! Get over here! You okay? Yeah.
Motherfuckers. You can come in
Watch
here.
the clerk. She might make a move.
I'll show you.
We need a combination.
Give me the combination. Give me the fucking combination.
I don't have it.
A Way Out holds your attention because the experience is catered to both you and your partner, and one cannot succeed without the other. And while I love many co-op games that don't do this, I can't help but feel they're missing something. For example, Destiny 2's co-op campaign content is built for the solo player, so groups of 2 or 3 breeze right through it. This makes the game boring and unengaging and doesn't create an immersive experience despite its cooperative roots. And while playing with your friends is a nice addition, the absence of a catered experience leaves you unfulfilled. This is precisely the problem with uncatered co-op experiences. You have to design for a certain amount of players, and with every number other than that, things go wrong. This is why A Way Out stands tall above the rest. The experience specifically caters toward 2 players with separate skills that are both needed to complete each section.
Vincent, catch this!
On it! Leo, I'm pinned down. Get their attention.
These 3 pillars, different identities, separate roles, and co-op catered experience I think apply to all cooperative games, and any game designed for 2 or more players can benefit from taking these things into account. However, A Way Out was a fantastic game because of these, but also several other features that I think deserve a mention as well. For example, A Way Out shows you the other player's screen at all times, even when you're not playing on the same device. The game makes both players agree to all decisions, which adds communication and weight to what each player thinks. The game has lots of interactable objects that allow players to socialize with the world through their character's lens, or interact with the other player like you would in the real world. And finally, A Way Out requires 2 people to play the game, but only requires one of those players to own the game. The other can download and use the demo version, which honestly surprised me coming from EA. These small features add a lot to the overall experience, and while I don't think they should apply to all co-op games, they still deserve a mention. And so to recap, there are many other things that make A Way Out a fantastic co-op experience, but 3 specific things stick out to me that I think apply to other games in the genre as well. First, different identities. Having a story with actual separate character in the game world. This adds a sense of believability to the world. Second, separate roles. Having specific mechanics separate to each player, or a different set of options depending on the location. This adds to the cooperative nature of the game and makes players work together. And third, a catered experience. Something that was specifically designed for the total amount of players in mind. This adds to the engagement of the players and allows them to escape fully into the game world. But this doesn't end here. What are your thoughts? What do you think makes a great co-op experience? Leave your ideas in the comments below. And if you liked this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, be sure to tell me why down in the comments, and subscribe so that you don't miss out on future content. Until next time, I'm Tim Rustwick, and I'll see you again soon.